with
Are you
that?
okay with that?
I'm okay with it, yes.
Yeah, go ahead.
I'll have to bite my tongue now.
Faye,
I don't know how long. I don't know how long it can stay on for though, but
Yeah,
Yeah, me neither. I have to go in like
like
5-10 minutes or
Faye
so.
just keeps talking. She doesn't pay attention to what
Yeah,
anybody
so
else is
no
saying.
Sorry.
plows
I'm
right
okay
through.
with it, yes.
she's just like, well,
I'll have to bite my tongue now.
I don't know how long. I don't know how long it can stay on for.
Oh my
though,
god.
Yeah.
Me neither. I have to go in like
my god.
5-10 minutes or
Faye
so.
just
You can
keeps
hear me,
talking.
right?
Pay attention to what
Yeah,
anybody
so
else
no
is
problem.
saying. Here we go. Twice. Okay, there he goes.
Oh, okay.
Sorry.
But yeah, I have to go soon also to
Yeah.
Yeah.
do
How do you
some
have 4
schoolwork.
downvotes already?
Why?
5? I don't know. 5 downvotes, no likes. I don't know. Maybe because of the Andy Worski's thing I just put out.
Oh, maybe.
People hate me now. That's right.
Alpha Marino, have either of you watched The Bachelorette this week?
No, we have not. Are we supposed to?
Yeah, I didn't know I was supposed to. I didn't watch it.
Well,
Are you watching
sort of
it? Did you
given.
watch it, Faye? Okay, can you tell me what happened? Go.
Here we go.
No, I can't. I don't want to give people spoilers. I can't tell you.
What do you
happened.
mean? Isn't it a girl and she met all the dudes?
Yeah,
And then
but
she's gotta
there's
pick,
other
right?
things that
Met all the
happened.
dudes.
There's-
Okay, there's only 5 people watching right now. So, okay, here's a warning. Spoilers incoming. Go.
Oh, so one guy came with a girlfriend.
Oh,
And so she
That's good.
confronted him and was like, "Hey Scott, fuck, what did she say? I don't remember." But he was like, "Yeah, I'm here for the right reasons. I want to be with you, whatever." And she was like, "Well, you have a girlfriend." And he's like, "What?" And she was like, "Yeah, you just saw her on Monday." And he was like, what did he say? He was like, no. And she was like, "Yeah, you did." And he was like, "Well, I dated her on Monday, but we ended it." So weird.
oh my god.
And she was like, "You're a jerk, bye." And so she sent him home. That was the most exciting thing. Oh, and there was this one guy named Luke who is like a retard because he became Christian. Like he became like an extreme Christian. He was like, "Yeah, one day I was in the shower and God spoke to me."
Oh,
I was in the shower.
ew. That's creepy.
Okay.
God's like, hey, Scott, what you got there?
Don't forget to wash your balls.
And they show like a montage of him in the shower.
Don't forget to pull the foreskin back.
Oh.
Weird. And yeah, and you just see like shots of him near a Bible. I don't know. It
Ew.
was so weird. It was really weird.
That sounds very weird.
But yeah, he got the first impression rose because like he went up to her and like comforted her and stuff. But I don't like him. He seems like a meathead. But
So this is the jackass. So this is the Bachelorette. So it's a girl, right? And
yeah, and then there were 30 guys.
30.
Yes.
Oh my god.
Yeah, and so I can't say any more spoilers. Kevin's here.
Spoilers.
Hey,
No spoilers.
we're live,
Oh,
Devin.
yeah, we're
She
streaming.
commandeered the conversation and talked about The Bachelor.
Yeah. Yeah,
We're live,
the
Devin.
second I started streaming, she just went on about the fucking
You streaming?
Bachelor.
Yeah, right now, yeah. So put your
Right
pants
now?
on. Yeah.
How many people are watching?
Very low. Like
5, and we have seven downvotes.
What?
yeah, I don't know. Before right when I started, it was 7 downvotes and 0.
Oh, that's got to be the depression verse.
Yeah.
Oh, depression.
It might be the last video I put out, maybe.
What? They're still.
Oh, but
What are they
there's-
mad about that? Devin's still wrong about Tonka.
Yeah, that might be.
So stupid. What? That is a weird argument. I always ask people. I never get a response. Maybe I just don't check the responses, but there is no response. What am I wrong about with Tonka? And how is Andy's performance in his stay back shenanigans? How does that not prove that he would have gotten his ass kicked by any human on the planet?
Yeah, basically.
Like, if you showed me like a relatively athletic 12-year-old kid, I might put money on him to kick Andy Worski's ass. Like, if he had any muscular definition in his chest at all, I'd be like, yeah, I'll put $1,000 on him.
A grand. Betting man.
Well, yeah, I'll make it interesting. So, I'm sorry to interrupt.
Nah, it's
I just finished.
No, we were just Faye was just giving me the rundown of what happened on The
yeah.
Bachelorette.
Yeah, like I wanted to hear that. You didn't interrupt anything.
I saved you.
Yeah, you saved me.
It was an okay episode.
I'm
Did you watch it,
pretending.
Devin?
I did not. I'm waiting for my girlfriend to get back. She's in Berlin.
When is she returning?
And I think tomorrow night.
Oh, okay, good.
As soon as her boyfriend says she can go home.
Yeah.
Oh,
No,
Are you
we don't call.
with it?
We don't call him the boyfriend. He's an emotional friend. That's what she says.
right.
Get cocked, you faggot.
I knew you were a cock.
I just recorded an hour and a half of audio.
On.
The police shooting in Texas.
Oh yeah.
Want to narrow that down a bit? I imagine there's probably about 50 of them
Recent.
today.
I just posted it yesterday morning. I was posting it in here.
Yeah, it's a
Which
black
one?
woman. I think the title of my video will be Black Pregnant Unarmed Woman Murdered by Cops. Wasn't pregnant, nor unarmed, nor murdered.
Yeah.
Oh, I think I saw that. That looked vicious.
Yeah,
Wait, so she wasn't? She was armed.
She took his taser.
Yeah, she took a taser. Yeah.
She jacked his taser and was tasing him. Yeah. You know, people, you know how you can spook a horse? Cops don't want to be in a fight. They especially don't want to be losing in a fight. And when you get your weapon jacked from you, like wrestled away from you, that's like, you know, warning bells are going off in the cop's mind. They're like, oh shit, like my life's in danger right now.
Yeah, I mean, she could tase him and then he'd be incapacitated and she'd grab his gun and shoot.
Especially if you live in an area where
Where what?
where everyone's armed. I mean, you got to have that in the back of your mind.
Yeah.
Yeah. With women, it tends to not be. It's just so nauseating. Like, I researched some stats. This year, we've had only a few women killed by cops. 7 have been white, 1 has been black. Guess which one we're hearing about?
Yeah.
And she lied. The last thing she did on this earth was lie and say I'm pregnant. She was a 44-year-old grandmother of 3.
Yeah, I'm pregnant.
And she's like, oh, I'm pregnant. Yeah.
Grandmother of 3.
Yeah, I'm surprised she wasn't a great grandmother.
Oh my god.
And they come to find out she had schizophrenia and was taking medication for that. And it's like,
Oh,
okay,
shit.
what's that
So
mean now?
just a cocktail for a disaster then.
Yeah, she was a mess. I mean, I'm sure it's going to come out she was on drugs or something. Like, I think she was drinking that night because earlier in the video she rips herself away from the cop who's trying to arrest her because she had outstanding warrants. It wasn't like she had just committed a crime. She had already committed crimes and was needed to be brought into custody. And she rips her arms away, and then all of a sudden you hear a bottle crash on the ground, and it's like, I don't think the cop was drinking on duty, so. And it was glass, so I'm guessing it's not, Lipton iced tea.
Thoughts on the abortion bill in Alabama? Go.
Absolutely insane.
Who's that?
Oh,
Mikey.
Mikey, we're live, so be
Mikey
aware.
likes it.
Yes.
Oh, hello.
Hi, Mikey. Yeah, what's your claim to fame?
My claim to fame?
Yes.
What do you mean?
Why do we know you?
Life cereal.
Yeah.
You know me because of a conversation that we had like a few days ago.
Oh, Kauai.
Yeah.
Oh, that's okay. You changed your
Yeah,
avatar.
that's me.
Oh,
Yeah, I
okay.
do that often.
Right. Any notable changes from when we talked?
Well, I'm gaining weight, so that's good.
Are you
That's good.
underweight?
I'm very underweight, so that's a good thing.
Okay. You're emaciated. I cannot believe this abortion shit I'm hearing about.
Yeah,
How many
it's
states
nuts.
are?
It's just
Alabama.
Alabama, I think.
Alabama.
Yeah, I don't think
Alabama.
it's
Yeah.
Yeah.
Alabama.
Wait a
Well,
minute.
obviously the motivation is clear. They want it to go to the Supreme Court. They want it to be challenged.
So we are now lining ourselves up for having more of the families of Alabama pumping up human beings. This is a recipe for disaster.
Yeah, for real.
Even in the case of rape and incest.
That
Yep.
seems.
Someone may want to double check that, but that's kind of what I
We'll see.
saw.
Yeah, I think yeah,
It's true.
yeah,
It's true.
rape for incest. Yeah.
That's nuts.
What if
The
you?
doctor gets sentenced to 90 years, by the way.
I think it's up to
Gee.
99. Up to 99 years.
99, my bad.
What if you rape your sister?
Yeah, I guess
Somebody's-
both
I think it
Thank you.
cancels out. Cancels out, yeah.
Well, at least that's still safe.
And I think I saw the vote. The vote was like a huge
Overwhelming,
margin.
yeah.
Like it wasn't even close.
That's ridiculous. Even Pat Robertson said it's too far. It goes too far. If Pat Robertson's saying that, you know there's seriously problem.
Pat Robertson is a lefty cuck.
Yeah, for saying that it goes too far.
Wait, why is the feds not involved? Like, if we had a normal person as the president, shouldn't they just come in and say, "You can't do that shit. This is a
Yeah.
basic human right."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's what we're going to be doing now. It's going to go to the Supreme Court, which was their plan all along, to enforce it federally.
Yeah, because then the Supreme Court is heavily skewed, right? And-
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
They waited. They waited until they got the majority.
So moronic. Oh my
It's so
god.
awful.
I cannot believe like what an affront. We need to. I'm going to go on a sex strike right now.
Ooh.
I'm going on a FAP strike. Start it up.
Yeah. Imagine that works. Like what a
My
fat
motivation
strike.
behind my new avatar.
What is your new avatar of?
It basically
Yeah, I didn't
just
see
says
it.
butter emails.
Looks like a black
Oh.
circle.
Hmm.
I'm going to limit my fapping to Faye to like 2 a day. Just
Jesus.
oh.
That's
No, I'm
fair.
serious about this.
But that's just
Good
a
luck
thing.
with that,
Everybody
Devin.
else doesn't count.
I can't. Not during Bachelor season. I can't do that.
Are you excited to watch the premiere?
Yeah. I know that Wit and Rye came out with a 15-minute video talking about it,
You
so
could
I'm
also
excited to that.
send you other people's recaps if you want. Or you only like Wit and Rye.
Well, I didn't know there was a whole subgenre.
Oh, yeah, I'm subscribed to like 5 channels. Just 'cause of
Oh,
them.
really?
Spoiler alert: The Bachelorette kills everyone with a dragon.
Yeah. That's a good show now.
It seems like a bunch of drama. The only thing I hate about the premiere episode is that at the tail end of it, they show a trailer of what's to come on the season, and they spoil everything.
Yeah.
I hate
show?
it. Bachelorette, the only show.
Oh, did you watch last week's episode? Like where they did the whole reunion of the Bachelorettes and like.
I missed it. I did miss that.
It wasn't worth it. It's fine.
Okay. But it'll be
Yeah.
like, they'll be like, this season on The Bachelorette, and next thing you know,
Yeah.
you're cutting to a waterfall in Hawaii, and it's like The Bachelorette with some black guy, and you're like, whoa, now I know a black guy makes it to the final 3 or something.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
come
they
on.
showed 2 places that they were. I didn't recognize the other ones, but they showed at least 2 places where we know they're going.
They gotta blur it out.
Yeah, I don't know.
Well, the fans are so ravenous that they have spoiler forums, and they follow the IRL production, and so
Also, Reality Steve. Do you know Reality Steve?
I do not.
Reality Steve, I don't know who he is, but he somehow gets all the information and he puts it on his blog, so that's how
Mhm.
people find it.
Oh, don't fall
Yeah.
off of there.
Yeah.
Sorry.
People do that. Like even with Game of Thrones, they know which actors are hired at the beginning of the season, and they look for any little random obscure interview that actor might have done, and they find his travel plans, and they're like, oh,
That's crazy.
Yeah.
figure it all out.
That's
Yeah.
weird.
I
Why
already
would you
know
do that,
some
though?
people were already posting. I didn't look at the names, so people already know some of the guys going to Paradise already. Like it didn't even start.
Yeah.
But
Oh,
why would you want to spoil the show for you? Like
I
that's
don't
crazy.
I try to stay away from spoilers as much as possible.
Faye, you
So-
know what I'm watching? Go ahead.
No,
what
no,
do
go.
There's a YouTube channel called Glitter and the Goose, and
Oh my
it's
god, no.
Krista and the
No.
Goose. They got like 35,000 subs, and they just do vlogs about their life, and it is insane.
I hate him.
I hate that couple. I
You know what they're
hate
talking about, Alf?
Nah, I don't
They
know.
just got married.
Something about a goose. I don't know.
They just got married, you know.
this guy who looks like a child molesting version of Ben Stiller. and
I
she's
hate her.
gross as shit. And he called himself the Goose, like he's from Maverick or Top Gun or whatever.
Doesn't the
Horrible.
goose die in
Really
Top
hate
Gun?
him.
Yeah.
I wish. Yeah,
I didn't know they have a YouTube channel. Oh,
go check it out. You'd be.
I will.
And it's so crazy because it's like, what is the appeal? They're in this honeymoon phase of their relationship, and
Yeah.
it's like, what is the entertainment here? They literally don't do anything.
Isn't it probably just her doing Pilates?
Oh, look at that
like,
guy.
or yoga?
Yeah, they moved into a new apartment and they are assembling furniture, and then they went out to eat food, and then he just turns to the camera and gives advice on taking digestive enzymes after a meal. I'm just like, what the fuck? Like, he has a health nut all of a sudden? Like, oh.
She is. She's a health nut. She's
So
a
I,
health.
Super Chris 3D is in the chat. Hi,
What's up?
Super Chris 3D.
What's up, Super Crest? Super Crest 3D.
well, throw some emojis at him.
And Nameless says hello.
Nameless.
Hello. Wait, so who do you think she's gonna like based on who the guys who you saw earlier?
Oh my god.
No, I'm not intimately familiar with, but the aggressive testosterone dude, he's
Oh my
out.
god! Can I give my opinion on him, or is that spoiler?
Well, I haven't seen the first episode, so it won't be
So, yeah.
informative for me. But I would say that there's 0% chance a black guy wins this show.
Oh, she dated a
0%.
black guy in high school. She went to prom with one.
She did.
Yeah, I sent you those pictures. Remember?
But you think that's reason that she's gonna date another? I think that's reason
I
she will
don't
never
know.
date one again.
She might have jungle fever, so people will never learn.
I'm just saying it's not out of the question. It's not like solid
Well-
no 100%. I don't know if it's 100%.
I'm going with no.
What's that?
You need
I'm gonna
to
go with no.
you need to get Phil to watch it with you. So you
Oh,
fill
that
and
would
you
be
fill and
hilarious.
fake and have
Look,
viewing parties
I
I
together.
have twisted the arm of Phil to get him on Discord and to get him to watch Game of Thrones, but this
Next is the
might be a
Bachelor.
step too far.
yeah, it might be. You never
Devin, brother, you've gone too far this time.
Devin, your credibility is just shot.
know. Credibility's shot. I will never take another recommendation from you.
You're dead to me inside.
What if he gets into it and he starts a YouTube channel with Faye,
God.
talking about The Bachelor every week?
It is a good show. The thing
Yeah.
is, there's entertainment value to be had. The show itself doesn't have to be stellar, Oscar-worthy stuff. In fact, it's more glorious when it's not. It's still human frailty and just all the 7 deadly sins, and it's just human psychology on display. It's fun. It's like
How
people.
much of it is
I think
scripted?
it's fun.
Nah, it's not scripted, but I mean, there's an artificiality to it, which is that they're all fame-hungry motherfuckers.
Yeah.
I mean, they all have they're ready to pivot and start.
I mean, especially in the Instagram,
Well,
where it's like all people become, all of a sudden they get 100,000 followers and
Yeah.
are doing Sugar Bear hair ads.
do you realize that girl Cassie, the girl who won the Love Bachelor,
Yeah.
she was a girl I loved her from the start. When she went on that show, she was already living a charmed princess life. She had
Yeah.
20,000 followers on Instagram. By the end of the show, she had 1 million.
Holy shit.
So
So if you take a 23-year-old girl and you send her from 20,000 to 1 million Instagram followers, that's like a
Disaster.
science experiment. Like, you better put on a lab coat and just study that. Because it
I'm
ain't gonna
following Hannah G on Instagram.
be. Oh yeah.
But yeah,
I think
Hannah,
Faye-
I'm trying to
I
imagine.
think people like her. I don't know why.
I think Faye wants to be the next Bachelorette.
Yeah,
She's
I
almost-
spoke to my mom about it, and she said no. So yeah.
So that's it. Huh?
That's the end of that.
Oh well.
But imagine trying to contain someone's ego. And I guess this goes both ways, but I'm thinking of the dudes from Mad Men, the TV show, that era. And you have a wife at home. She's raising your kids. But on the side, she moonlights as an Instagram model, and she has 1 million people that follow her.
Crazy.
Like,
Yeah.
imagine the attention that she would put into that. And what that would do to her ego.
I gotta watch that show again. I love that
Yeah,
show.
it's a good show.
This is
How are the cars, Marina? How are the cars back there that they were driving?
Nice. Remember that episode where she hooks up with the Jaguar dealership?
No, I do not.
Sponsorship, do you remember that? No? Come
What
on,
were the-
Christina Hendricks in a Jag?
So,
Oh.
the 1950s, the cars had that sharp sort of
Big tail
shape to
fins.
it.
The
Yeah.
American cars were big and long and huge
No.
tail fins. And
Didn't those cause deaths? Like, didn't they just impale
yeah, they
people?
were bad. Well, especially the interiors. Like, there was no give in anything, so you'd smash your head against the steering wheel, be impaled and stuff inside. They were awful. Yeah.
So, is that how they came up with the name Impala? It was
Impaler.
Yeah, this reminds me of a movie, The Fog of War, and it was Bob McNamara, who before...
Love that documentary.
Yeah, it's fascinating. But before he was a Secretary of Defense, and before he was I guess after he was in the wars, he worked for GM or something? Toyota? Not Toyota.
Was it GM or Chrysler? Was it
Chrysler, some old
Maybe, yeah.
American company. And at one point he was like, maybe we should put seatbelts in, because there's a study that showed that seatbelts can save like X amount of lives. And like this was before there was a regulation for that, or it was not mandatory.
Well,
And
and then it was only lap belts, right? So there was only a belt
Yeah.
on your lap, so it would cut you in half. You'd submarine out of it. It was just...
Here- I got good news and bad news. Good news, there's less impalings per year. Bad
Yeah.
news, we're severing people at the gut level.
Yeah, I think for a while they said, because a lot of guys have, old cars like that they've restored and still drive around, and they actually drive them without their belt on, because they say,
Yeah.
like a lap belt, you're better off without having one.
Fuck.
It
That's
was just a
some
lap belt.
famous last words. That reminds me of the motorcyclists who don't wear helmets. 'Cause they're-
Every time I go into Michigan, that freaks me out. As soon
Why
as
do
I
you
cross
say-
the border, I got a friend that lives there. As soon as I cross the border, I see guys on motorcycles on the highway with just no helmet on. I'm just like, what the hell?
He has an emotional friend there. Well, yeah, that's nothing. Thailand has that beat by a long shot. Like, they'll have
Yeah.
6 dudes on a moped. Just none of them are over 15.
Yeah, I've seen that.
Yeah, three of them are dead on the way home. It's like...
Yeah, just speed bumps.
So, Sunday, what do you think's gonna happen?
Oh god, I cannot wait. I've been listening to a lot of the predictions, but I'm leaning toward the idea that the prophecy of Azor Ahai is going to come true, which is Daenerys is the Mad Queen. Jon Snow loves her, but he must kill the person he loves in order to save the realms of man. And so he's going to take out us. But I think what they might do is this: they might make it morally acceptable for him to do this, because people, what she did with the whole genociding the King's Landing is going to be a little bit forgotten by the audience. So it's going to be like, that was a week ago. Like, let's let bygones be bygones. So they have to remind us that she's evil, and so I think they're going to maybe have her kill someone, like
Sansa.
Arya. Sansa, just send Drogon up on a hit. No, maybe kills Arya, or maybe kill Tyrion, or maybe try to kill Jon Snow. So here's what I envision: Drogon. She commands Drogon to kill Jon Snow, because if he won't bend the knee, or he's being treasonous or something. Drogon flames Jon Snow. It does nothing to him because he's a Targaryen. He then pulls out his sword and stabs her in the heart. The sword gets set on fire, which is the prophecy. It's the Lightbringer.
Yeah.
He then takes that Lightbringer and kills Drogon, because you have to kill the dragon. Drogon's gonna, he's not going down with that fight.
What if
Right.
he can command the dragon as well?
But I think in the prophecy, you have to kill the one you love first, and then kill the monster. I think that's what the terminology is.
Oh yeah, that makes sense then.
Yeah, and so I'm looking at that, and then maybe Jon might die at the end, and that's the bittersweet thing. Like, all these dudes have the Jesus martyrdom complex. So, yeah, the morality of it all is very fuzzy here at the end. Because out of all the stuff that's gone down, it's very strange that people are like clutching their pearls at a few civilians getting caught up in that.
Cannot believe the pushback on that.
Yeah, it's like, wow, how dare she? Meanwhile, there's a lot of
keep
death.
hearing is about character arc. Everyone's
my
using
God.
that term. It's
Everyone's
so
a writer now.
Fucking
God damn it.
obnoxious, man. It's like, oh, shut up. This term you guys learned 3 days ago from some
no.
jackass. It's like, shut up.
Well,
Yeah,
I think hell hath no fury like a woman scorned, and she was scorned when she tried to make sexual advances on John, and he denied her. And that was like the final straw. But I watched a video today.
Passive aggressive video.
Yeah, I watched a video today where somebody made the point that Daenerys has been really rather moral the whole show. She's basically like an SJW with a set of balls. So everybody she's ever killed has deserved it. And she's freed slaves, and she's, killed people who were mean to, the downtrodden, and she really went out of her way to protect innocence. And so for her to just disregard all that, why? Because Missandei died? It's a little bit like hard to buy, hard to believe, and especially if it's the justification of her dying in the next episode. It's like, oh, come on, guys.
So the part where they said when the bells ring, that means they've surrendered and fall back, whatever. Mm-hmm. Do you think her and Grey Worm planned beforehand? I don't give a shit that the bells ring, we're going in. Or do you think she just because to me it looks like, I heard people say that, I said maybe, but then I thought, to me it looked like she got upset that the bells were ringing.
I think said, that she was disappointed.
I want to torch this place. Yeah.
I think her and Grey Worm could have had an understanding and might have had a conversation in Valerian, because Grey Worm and her, it's this whole thing of they're traumatized, they're in shock, their friends and their loved ones are dead. Mm-hmm. So it's not just one person, it's multiples. Yeah. So for Grey Worm, he has nothing to live for. He has no dick, and he has no Missandei. And for Daenerys, no Jorah, no Missandei. The love of your life just slipped through your hands. Khal Drogo, he's gone. Your brother's dead. How many? She's lost everybody. She lost half the Dothraki, and she's just pissed, and she feels alone. And yeah, so that's what we're being told is the reason that she has snapped and become the Mad Queen. But it feels like we gotta have a villain for the final episode and wrap up this whole plot.
But is she really a villain? I mean, compared to everyone else? You know what I mean?
And the way I see it is every ruler is a villain, right? You have to do villainous shit and heroic shit at the same time.
Well, I don't think she's a villain, but I think that's the beauty of the show, is that there are no heroes and no villains.
Yeah, exactly. You have to be both.
And that everybody gets questioned on, all of the moral gray zones that they delve into. Davos, I mean, where is he? Bronn, Tyrion. These people all have highly suspect past. Jaime, Cersei.
Yeah.
You could easily make the case that all of these people have, skeletons in their closet.
Mm.
And Daenerys really has a pretty impeccable track record up till now. I mean, if anything, you could accuse her of having Targaryen privilege. I mean, she's totally entitled.
Wow.
Targaryen privilege.
Wow.
Blood privilege.
Yeah. White platinum blonde just comes in saying, I own this shit because I'm me. I mean,
what a bitch.
Yeah, it's all Ivanka Targaryen. Yeah, I'm actually rooting for Dany. I like her. I think I'm biased because she's hot as shit, but
yeah,
like she actually wants to lead too. She has energy. She's got big pussy energy.
I really didn't think much of her until last week. Which is kind of, I guess that makes me questionable, but it's like, wow, this is interesting. She freaked out and killed a bunch of people.
But if you actually think back, what did she do to the slave owners? She crucified them?
Crucified them? I think she crucified them.
She's burning people alive. She's eating horse heart. She's getting fucked doggy style by a dude that's 4 times her size. She's not a joke. This girl, she bangs. In the great words of William Hung.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm a fan. And Jon Snow and his limp-dicked morality in the middle of a battle.
He bores me.
He's sitting there going, "Hold, stay back. We're not allowed to." Next thing you know, he killed 20 dudes that day. He's gonna bitch at somebody else. I killed 20 dudes, but that was righteous. You killed 2,000 dudes, so what is your problem? I don't know. I like the rage. I like the You got to come up with some conflict, and it has people talking, and it's interesting, and it's layered, and I don't know. People, it exposes things about yourself. It exposes like how do you play it? How do you call this? What's your judgment on their behavior?
Yikes. That's not good. I kind of like Daenerys after last favorite.
Yeah,
Whoops.
I liked both.
Well,
I liked them both the whole time.
For example, if she's pissed because they killed Missandei, so that was really a inflammatory move because Missandei was an innocent. She was a translator. She wasn't really part of this. I mean, she was an advisor, but I mean, to kill her in cold blood the way that they did, you could make the case that okay, I'm going to kill some of your people in cold blood because you killed one of mine. Now, technically, it's a war crime, but if the other group, the other side, are committing war crimes against you, are you justified to commit war crimes against them? This is a classic case of the fog of war. We're talking about morality and war. These two things barely go together, and it's very nebulous. The whole concept of it, like this is why it's hard to craft the Geneva Convention, because if you go back to the most recent wars, the Japanese were committing war crimes against their POWs, and we committed a ton of war crimes against the Japanese and their civilians. The Germans did it to the English did it to the Germans. It doesn't make any of them right, but you could make some case, like, who started the shit?
Yeah.
It does matter who started it.
How are they going to wrap this up in an hour and a half?
It's going to leave everyone... I mean, the thing is, they have an audience that is just so thirsty for more, and I think they're shooting already one of the spin-off prequel type things. But there's a couple more in the works, and the Dan and David, or the two Dans, the two Ds, whatever they are, they're not going to be involved. They're doing other projects, and I think it's opened up a whole box. Just we need more. And we want new. I want more and new. I don't want like J.R. Tolkien. Don't go backwards. Give me something. And you tell me there's not a thriving fantasy writers out there, young up and coming types.
Oh yeah, it's got tons.
Yeah, that's what I want. Like, there's probably like really kick-ass fan fiction. Fuck, the fan fiction from the Brony universe is pretty damn good. They have they got video games, and the shit gets really popular because the Brony fans, My Little Pony comes out with 10 episodes a season. That's nowhere near enough for these guys.
Is it still around?
I think so.
Did you guys see the new trailer for Black Mirror? New season?
Yeah,
I forgot about that.
Season 4? What is it?
Season 5.
It's only 3 episodes. Oh, 3 episodes though.
I think it's only 3 episodes.
Yeah, it's only 3 episodes. That's a bit upsetting. Yeah.
Why call that a season?
They're back to that was how the first 2 seasons were. They're back to that. Like, why would you go to 6 episodes and then go backwards to 3 again?
That's like a girl saying, "I'll give you a blowjob," and then she just goes down once on your dick, and that's it. It's like, I need that. Down and up.
But yeah, Miley Cyrus is in it. It's kind of strange.
Oh God, dude, how did you? You ruined it.
Yeah, Miley Cyrus is in it. Yeah, I saw her.
God
almighty.
almighty.
I was like, what?
Oh, Faye. Way to go.
Miley Cyrus.
What? Marino.
Can you kick her?
I'm sure.
Ben Karas.
Get her out of here.
Can you imagine kicking Faye? Just banning her. Just get out of here, Faye.
I'm unbannable.
That's not adult.
Oh, damn.
Black Mirror. Here, I'll link that trailer.
Thank you. Faye is a product of the internet age.
Yeah.
Shit. Her parents, they stuck an iPad when she was a toddler. They're like, "Here, play this iPad game."
Oh, really?
Elf has been killed.
Oh, you're actually watching the stream, Marino?
Yeah.
Oh, you hear what she said? Oh my God, she's so.
Dagger.
Yeah. I'm send my dragon after her.
Grant is in the chat.
Yeah, he's a real friend, Faye.
Oh, I'm sorry. That's why I didn't know that Zelda was single player.
Yeah. They were like, you and Bill are playing, right? I was like, what? We can't both be playing.
All gamers are single players, if you know what I mean.
Oh.
Gamers unite. Did you guys see Sargon get fish thrown at his face?
Wait, what?
Man, he's getting killed out there.
Yeah, he was doing a interview. He just posted a video of it, and some woman walks up to him and they're like, "You don't have a right to be. Get out of my city." He goes, "I have a right to be here." Next thing you know, 3 fish.
Fish.
That's awesome.
Yeah, just thrown right at his face, and he goes, "Excuse me, excuse me." And he's like all British about it. He's just like,
I can't believe you've done this.
The squid. It's like the squid gun from Despicable Me. Remember that?
Yeah.
and he was just offended by it. And then a bunch of birds. He was down by the water's edge, and like these seagulls and these pigeons, like they smelled the fish and they're chumming the water.
No.
I swear to God, a bird almost landed on it later on.
Oh my god.
It's so funny. It's hysterical because he's trying to like pretend like this rape tweet and all of his other comments, like he's trying to stand behind what he said. But every interview he does, they bring this shit up. And they're like, could you defend why you said the rape thing about the rape and the tweet and the rape? And it's like, oh my god, I'm back in this goddamn vortex, this loop. I can't get out of it. And it's one of those things where it's never gonna, get passed. He could pass a digital bill of rights and ensure net neutrality for the world, and be like, guy who's threatened rape,
passes
saves the internet. It's funny though. The people that do not like Sargon are just absolutely loving the flame job that the mainstream media is doing on him. Sure. They are head over heels. Christy Winters, who's actually out here in Cologne. I'm actually in the same city as Christy Winters.
Are you gonna meet up with her?
You think I'm moving?
That would be hilarious.
Where do you think I was last night? It's a big city. There's 1 million people here.
Yeah.
And Drogon just went full Thanos, didn't he?
That was awesome. Turned them all to ash.
You know what the real twist is? Daenerys was not in control. And she explains in the next episode, she goes, look, I told Drogon to stop. Right?
Right. Sure you did.
Drogon was doing his own thing. He had his own.
Yeah.
I said no Dracarys. No Dracarys.
Like,
he didn't hear me.
I didn't kill anybody. Okay, I don't have fire coming out of my mouth. That's all Drogon. So
Drogon
you got an
needs
issue.
to adult.
Yeah, take it up with him.
Yeah. Go have a talk with him. See what happens.
Oh shit.
Fucking Drogon.
It's so weird that his name is like 1 letter removed from
Dragon.
Dragon. It's like being called Human. Human. It's like George R. R. Martin he'd run out of ideas for names. He's like, what should we call this dragon? I don't know, just call him Dragon.
I don't fucking have.
Dragon, Drogon, how about that?
There you go. Just change the 8 to an O, we're good.
He does come up with some pretty good names, though.
Daenerys is a nice name.
Yeah.
I'm betting there's going to be a bunch of Daeneryses in the next generation of kids.
I heard Elizabeth Warren had spoken highly of Daenerys, and after the end of last season, when it was like women empowerment, the women are taking over, and they're these righteous leaders, and she sort of associated her brand, and now she's a genocidal maniac. She's like, oh, whoops.
Oh, yeah.
I disavowed Daenerys.
Yeah, now she's. Yeah, that's what happens when you put women in charge.
Wow.
They torch cities.
Yeah, Faye.
Yeah, Faye.
Wow.
That time of the month comes around, somebody says something about it, and that's the end of a city right there.
That's true.
That's true. What are you on your period? Like half the city fucking bombed and shit.
Bloodshed all over.
Yeah. Yeah, you've seen
Somebody
Carrie,
did-
right? It's a true story.
I saw a meme on Twitter. I think today was Jon Snow saying he's on a sex strike. And Daenerys is just on the dragon.
Oh, yeah, I
just
saw that.
punching everything.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah. Like, I'm on a sex strike.
I'm happy I rewatched it, and
Yeah, it's good.
I might watch it again.
Such a good.
Yeah, I gotta rewatch it.
Spectacular.
Such a good episode. I've watched the last 2 episodes, twice each.
Yeah, I can't believe the Spurgs are still complaining about stuff.
Oh,
It's
it's so
absolutely.
annoying.
There's no
They're
pleasing these
saying
people.
the same thing.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, that seems popular. Let's say that.
But also, I'm also annoyed at this notion of you're judging it against itself.
Yeah, basically.
So like, it's like when the prequels came out for Star Wars. Like, yes, we understand there's legit criticisms, but the total freak job that people did on that, where they're like, "This is the worst thing ever."
Yeah.
And it's like, it's only bad when you compare it to the original Star Wars. Like, you wouldn't even know about this franchise or these characters or any of the lore if these guys didn't come up and make something and take all these risks and create. So yes, he tried again with Jar Jar Binks, and it sucked and fell on his ass. But there were parts that were good, and it still had kick-ass music from John Williams, and it's like Natalie Portman's in it. Like, how bad could it be?
Yeah, I still liked the prequels. I like this.
Yeah.
I like.
No, they're definitely good movies, but it's just, I mean, I'm not a big fan of Hayden Christensen, and neither is his agent. His career went nowhere after that.
Oh no!
He
had a TV show stolen from him and his brother.
You know what it is? He was a Canadian soap opera actor, and I think he seduced the casting director because he was like some 18-year-old good-looking kid. And he went in there with all this like sex appeal.
Yeah, he was like, "I'll bang the shit out of you if you put me in this movie."
they just got cock drunk off this guy's charisma. It's like, he can't act.
No, he can't act for shit.
No.
He made a TV show and it got stolen from him and his brother. I forgot what show it was. It was
the kid couldn't act. Like, there are good kid actors, but you cannot pick guys like this. You got to pick a kid actor like Michael Cera, or I mean, he would be a terrible Anakin Skywalker, but just Jewish.
Michael Cera as Anakin Skywalker.
Yeah,
oh,
but you know,
at least that would have been humorous. Like, you could have looked back on that fondly.
Like Woody Allen playing him.
Yeah.
No, but there are good kid actors nowadays, way better than generation before, where kid actors were trying to pretend like they were adults. So you had these, like even the guy from The Sixth Sense. That he's like a little freaky mini adult.
Yeah.
You know, he never looked like a kid or acted like a kid. But I mean, I've seen some shows recently where the kid acting is just brilliant. And you just have no conception that they're acting. Yeah. Babies are good at acting too. It's very rare to see a baby break character.
That baby is so good at being a baby.
Yeah.
Method. Like, even when the cameras are off. Like,
even when the cameras are off, it's still acting like a baby would.
Right, because like, if the scene calls for tears and the baby like gets where they need to go emotionally, and then they call cut, but the baby who he's still in that moment.
He's still crying.
So he doesn't. Yeah.
You gotta rock him to stop him.
Right.
The Robert Downey Jr. of babies.
I was moved by Daenerys' performance right before she launches into her demolition, where there's like a good 15-second clip of you're just with her in her emotional state, and she's so locked in. And it's even more impressive when you see Emilia Clarke do interviews, and she's such a goofy, lovable, cheerful woman. And so friendly and so positive and happy, and then to see her all enraged, and it's just like, whoa, that ain't Emilia Clarke right there. She's tapped into something.
Yeah,
I just saw a clip of Sophie Turner chugging.
Oh yeah, I tagged you in that. Yeah.
She's awesome.
Oh yeah, you did, Alf. Yeah, that's right. Chugging wine.
Yeah, that was funny, right?
Game.
Just downed it. She saw the camera. Yeah, it's funny because she saw the camera was on her, and she was like, "Oh yeah, watch this group."
Yeah, Cersei would be impressed with that. Putting back wine like that.
Yeah, what happens to Sansa now?
Yeah,
Or what about Sam? He's done? Sam's gone?
Sam's back at the...
Yeah.
Maybe his family's home. His family's all dead.
They're gonna start getting ready for the spin-off. It's a sitcom
Yeah.
called The Tarleys.
No, if you're Samuel Tarly, you know your brother and your father are dead. They're burned. You know you have like a massive house with lands. You got a wife and kid. It's an obvious choice to go home and be like,
Yeah.
I'm Samuel Tarly.
Well,
Give
his
me the
mom's
key.
still there too.
Yeah.
And she wasn't
That's
half bad looking either, so.
You want him to have sex with his mom?
Yeah.
Well, everyone else seems to in that show.
Yeah, you might as well. Gotta spread that Tarly seed.
Oh. Well, his wife is a product of incest.
That's right.
Yeah.
My mother, the wildling.
No, I think Sansa, there's only one episode. There's no way she's going to be involved. There's just no time. She's not on her way down. So I think she's out of the equation. I think Arya might have a bone to pick because she saw all the devastation, and the showrunners made a point of it to be like, look how Arya's, experiencing all this mayhem, and so Arya might.
Yeah.
Well,
Go ahead. Sorry.
I think Arya might kill Grey Worm.
Oh,
Huh.
that might be.
Can we get the dragon to step on Bran?
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Can we
By
do that?
accident,
Like,
too.
Just like fucking kick him.
They're like, look, we're about to have a fight here and duke it out just to see who's going to rule the world. But before, can we all just agree that Bran is a fucking buzzkill?
Yeah.
The
Let's
dragon.
go kill him. Just roll him down a hill or something.
The dragon.
Some people said that Bran, it's time for him to warg into Drogon.
Oh, that would.
And they're like,
Well,
I would like.
well,
that.
I don't know if
I
you
don't
can
think
rogue
he will.
if you can warg into a raven, maybe
Yeah.
that's easier because a raven's brain is the size of a
dragon's a
tack.
different story.
I heard somebody, I think
So it's a lizard brain.
somebody on Phil the Issues Guy's show was saying that they think he could be that white horse or something.
Oh, he could have worked into it though. Maybe he
Yeah.
took the
So
horse.
any animal, people are like, it's Bran.
It could be, but yeah, I don't know if it is. That would be so random if they were like, yeah, it was Bran who went in and saved it.
I think
Yeah.
Bran's just dropping acid in his wheelchair.
Yeah. They should come back and he should just be part of the tree and then just end his story
Hate him.
right there. Just put his face on the
Hate
tree
him,
and go,
man.
oh, there he is. That's what happens to him. Let's move
So
on.
mad at Jamie for not finishing the job.
Oh,
Oh.
Yeah,
I think Bran
drove over him with his car.
Bran is in full beautiful mind mode. He's just writing equations on windows.
Yeah. It's a curse
Asshole.
to be made.
Yeah, I'm definitely thinking there's death coming.
You don't say.
Yeah, it's just to what degree.
Yeah.
Because the troops are still loyal to Daenerys. So Daenerys, if you were trying to kill her, you have to go through Drogon and Grey Worm.
Yeah.
So
And-
maybe Jon turns the dragon then. What
Unless,
if the dragon ends up killing Daenerys?
well, there might be some public speech. There might be something where Jon Snow gets up on his high horse and says to the Unsullied and to the Dothraki, who probably won't understand a single word of it, what we did is wrong. You're the monster that we've been trying to
You're wrong.
fight against. You're wrong. And and maybe the Unsullied are convinced by that because they're kind of a proud people and they do have loyalty, but in other words, a mutiny. Where you don't fight the army, you convince the army, and then you just kill the leader. And you're like, this was justified. Because they don't have the numbers. Like, you cannot take on the Dothraki, the Unsullied, and Drogon, and Daenerys, and think that you could just beat them militarily.
Yeah,
Just
that's why he
one-on-one.
needs that dragon.
Or you need a sneak attack, or you need like a Arya type move, or something. I think he's going to get the moral green light to kill Daenerys after Daenerys
Yeah.
has Drogon, Dracarys, Jon Snow, and it doesn't
And it
work.
doesn't work. Yeah. He's a Targaryen.
People are going to be like, and Jon Snow, knowing him, he might just announce to everyone that he's Aegon Targaryen. He might just say it out loud.
Maybe he might go to dethrone her. What about that?
He doesn't want that
He
shit.
doesn't want it. Yeah.
There's no throne
I was
anyway.
thinking he might end up wanting it because he can't trust anybody to be on the throne. Like he doesn't want it, but everybody who gets the throne ends up doing douchey shit.
You know what Jon Snow wants to do? He wants to go, live with Samuel Tarly. Just have a
Yeah,
new dog, have a woman, start a family. Like he doesn't want this.
that's true. It's not what he wants.
He has no ambition whatsoever. Like I miss guys who had ambition, like Littlefinger, Ramsey.
Yeah.
It's almost like all the villains have ambition and all the heroes are pussies. Who they just want peace, man. Like what does Bran want? Nothing.
Oh,
He doesn't say anything. He doesn't want anything.
he just sits there.
Mm-hmm. Now the question with Arya is, does she have a hate boner for Daenerys now? Because
Yeah, she might.
you know the lesson of the Hound was stop seeking revenge, stop trying to kill everybody. Like
Yeah,
just
that's true. It's the
go
opposite.
live your life.
It's the opposite message.
Right, because you know these showrunners are big on double kills. So if you kill someone, but then you get killed in the process, like Euron and Jaime and Cersei, the Hound and the Mountain,
Yeah.
doubles, people going out in pairs.
So Arya and Daenerys go out together?
Arya and Grey Worm, they go out. Yes, Jon Snow and Daenerys. Right, it easily could be the case.
Yeah, I can see that.
All I know is whatever happens, there's going to be a lot of people upset.
Oh, yeah.
What if Bran?
Prepare for all the bitching on the internet tomorrow, next Sunday. Oh, Monday.
What if Bran takes the Iron Throne, but it's not handicap accessible?
Oh, good.
There's no ramp up to it.
Yeah.
He
It's
just,
like, I can't go up there.
He has one of those little lifts. It's like.
He's the one that was on the wall.
The iron wheelchair. Yeah, I mean, you know what's crazy? Like, Tyrion built the dude a saddle when he was a kid so that he could ride horseback and be as tall as any man while on horseback. There's no reason why he shouldn't be doing that now. Why is he all depressive and in his wheelchair when he's a grown-ass man now? He should be up on a horse.
yeah.
Get some exercise.
Yeah.
Work the upper body.
He's terrible.
Guys, his muscles are atrophying. Yeah.
The sight of him angers me.
He's an incel. He's an incel. He's a virgin.
I'm all right here.
He's worried about the three-eyed raven. He should be worried about the one-eyed snake. That is a good joke. Oh.
Yeah, I think he's
Just
just fucked
they
by
just-
all the visions that he has all the time. I don't think he even knows what's going on in the real world.
He's just dropping Bachelor videos in the midst of a Game of Thrones discussion. Just pissing into the wind.
I'm sorry.
It's okay, Faye. Thank you.
Rolling
Looking
your
at
eyes,
YouTube.
like, oh my god, these old guys are so.
No, I just watch GOT, so I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh.
GOT.
Game of Thrones?
Sounds like a new boy band or something. Hey, have you heard about this Korean boy band? Is there a big popular one?
There's so many.
Korean
Yeah, there's
boy
lots of
band?
those.
No, but like it has like 9 people in it. They hosted or they were on SNL.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and
That's
there's like
weird.
12 Korean dudes out there. And, like the girls were reacting to each one as if like, oh, he's the dangerous one and he's the quiet
Oh,
one.
God.
And he's the,
They all look,
Dangerous.
they probably all look super gay too.
oh my god, they all highly feminized.
Yeah. They love that shit over there. Roses and rose.
Should I link more recaps, or you're only gonna watch it with?
Well, I have to watch the first the whole episode. I gotta see Chris.
I watched
Hansen.
approximately 5 or 6 recaps.
Did they water down the driveway?
What do you mean?
Every year when the limos pull up, they hose down the driveway to make it wet and reflective.
Yeah, reflective, yeah.
Yeah, because it's more I don't know, romantic. I'm surprised people don't fall and slip on it. It doesn't rain in LA, so like it's all intentional. Like, hose it down.
Are you for sure gonna watch it tomorrow?
I know Eurovision's tomorrow, so I might do it the day after.
Mm.
Oh. Oh.
Oh, you just watching that? Yeah.
Yeah.
You're like maybe a minute behind.
You fell in a bottomless pit. It's bottomless.
Yeah, I will never eat the bottom.
Do you think you or your girlfriend likes The Bachelorette more?
I think I got her to watch it.
It's not falling.
Oh.
So
It's a role
I would say-
reversal.
No, she's a massive fan of it.
Oh,
but
okay.
I don't know when I started watching.
Do you
think
prefer Bachelor or The Bachelorette?
I think each one has different appeal. I think
Bachelor has more girls.
honestly though,
Yeah.
I think the Bachelorette is less interesting because guys get along better usually.
Mm-hmm.
Like, so if you put a bunch of women in competition, especially women who aren't used to losing when it comes to men, like they're not used to even competing when it comes to men. They're like, I'm hot shit. I get everything I want. And now I got this other girl here who's looking incredible and she's actually like making out with my boyfriend. Like, this is not right.
I think I'd be able to finish that show off within like half an hour. Time one limo. It's like, yeah, they're all
But see-
standing there. It's like, okay, that one, I'm done. It's just like,
Yeah,
Right.
yeah, I think so.
But I think the producers know that they need ratings and so they need drama, and
yeah.
they insert a couple dudes always that are, and women, that they know are completely toxic. They know these people have no social skills and they're just gonna enrage everyone.
Yeah, I mean, they need it. I mean, otherwise, I wouldn't
Yeah.
be
There are dudes who have like lifelong relationships. There was like one season where two guys, they hung out together so much people thought they were gay. They're like, these dudes aren't interested in the Bachelorette at all. They were like putting tanning lotion on each other, and they were like, muscle guys.
My
You know
God.
Chad and Daniel?
Yeah, it was,
Oh,
it was,
okay.
yeah, you know,
I like Chad.
exactly. Daniel, he's the
Super
Canadian.
cute.
Right?
Yeah, Daniel's a Canadian.
He wore a
He's like-
banana hammock with the Canadian flag on it.
Nice.
Lost him for Bachelor in Paradise.
But yeah, the guys on this season, I don't know. It's slim pickings for sure. Like, I don't
Oh,
know.
Oh, face
The
not
guy-
impressed.
Don't spoil it. The guys are so stupid though. When they go on Bachelor in Paradise and they do interviews, and one guy was like, "Yeah, so there's a bunch of hot chicks here. There's one chick. She's got really big tits." I was like,
Wait, was that Joe? I think we're talking about Joe.
yeah, it could have been.
Yeah.
And the women are like, "I'm here for the right reasons, and I'm here to find love, and I want to find my forever soulmate." And the guy's like, "You checked, see her tits, dude." And people wonder why there's a 8% success rate with this show.
Yeah, I mean, it's very rare. There are some couples that are pulling through.
Yeah, there's two couples that
Oh.
are holding it together because of like it's a business arrangement and it's like a loveless marriage.
I think Rachel and Brian are getting married soon.
Barf.
You don't like them?
Who are they? Sound
Rachel.
white.
She was the first Black Bachelorette, and then Brian.
Oh yeah. They're happy. Whatever.
Yeah, they seem okay.
Whatever.
Yeah, well, nobody wants to see happiness. Can you imagine if
But-
Game of Thrones just ends happy?
Ew.
Everybody gets along. They're like, Jon Snow confronts Daenerys. He goes, "Daenerys, what you did on that battlefield was unforgivable.
You shouldn't have done that.
You killed innocents, and it was wrong." And, and Daenerys is like, "I've had some time to think about it, and
I feel so
I
guilty.
totally agree. You are right. I'm sorry. It will never happen again." Well, having said that, then we're cool.
Let's get
Like,
married.
and then just fade to black, and it's like, hooray!
Ew. Can you imagine it ends with a wedding?
A big old dragon wedding.
They should all
Oh,
get
fuck.
they should all get rewards or awards around their necks, like in Star
Like
Wars.
just Star Wars, they ended exactly the same.
And then you just see Obi-Wan Kenobi randomly appear. He's just floating over Drogon's, like all these riding Drogon.
Devin, when do you think Colton and Cassie are gonna break up?
Colton and Cassie, yeah, that's they have a reality show. Well,
think so?
Cassie, yeah, it's not good that Cassie's living with her smoking hot sister. Like, she's just this ridiculous model actress. I mean, it's all way too much public. There's no privacy, there's no intimacy, there's nothing sacred with that. It's all for business now. So,
Yeah.
Wow.
That was sad.
yeah, it was kind of shaky to start with, and they're just too young. I mean, a 25-year-old, 26-year-old with a 23-year-old, that has a shelf life. It's not supposed to be like, this isn't like 1940. This is, 1940, you get some guy, even the friggin' Vietnam, you get some 19-year-old who's like, here's my honey, here's my sweetheart back home. I'm gonna marry her, we're gonna have kids. It's like, that's what people did. Like, they would actually do that. Now it's like, you're one of 25 dudes that girl's gonna be with in her 20s. No, but honestly, because Jordan Peterson would say, "Well, that's when we hear birth controls changed everything. Women have economic choices; they're not economically dependent upon the man, and I don't know if that's good." No, but it is true because it's not
wear
like
lipstick now.
Right? Why do you think they wear makeup to work?
Didn't they always wear makeup?
They did. He's a spurt, but. No, but think about it. Back in the day, women were basically handed off from their father to
with dowry.
Yeah, and it's because it's like, what's the woman gonna do? Get a job? What? Does she really enjoy typing that much? Like
typing.
And so now it's like, wait a minute. They have careers, they have goals and ambitions, and there's no need for them to crank out kids. Like, we don't, they're not getting pressure from their local church. Actually, they are actually in the religious community. That's why religious people have more kids. But, like, you're in no hurry. Faye, you're of, like, your grandmother probably had kids by your age.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. My mom was already married at my age.
Exactly. The woman in Texas is 44. She's a grandmother.
Yeah.
It's true.
Me and Marino, we better get cranking. We better get moving.
Yeah.
My parents want me to get married. They wanted me to get married yesterday.
Right.
Oh, really?
But if I heard that a 22-year-old was getting married and having kids, I'd be like, what the fuck is wrong with you?
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah.
It's so normal here, though. It's so normal. Like, people from my grade, I could think of like 30 girls are already married, and some of them have already.
Well, she's all ortho.
Well, I'm not personally, but
But
I'm in like a WhatsApp with all like my past classmates, and like you'll see like one day it'll be like 60 mazel tovs, and you're like, oh my god, someone's engaged.
A what's Jap or WhatsApp?
Oh my god.
Hello, everyone.
Hey,
I didn't know where to jump in between The Bachelor and GOT. I had no idea what to say. So
pop culture, Billy. You gotta get in on it.
You gotta start one of those shows.
I had a fan reach out to me. I'm gonna do a video on him. He's 21 years old. He's got a 2-year-old, 3-year-old kid, something like that.
I'll be back.
Oh my.
And he's worried about finances and his life, and he's just struggling. But he had a kid when he was 18. That's the sick thing about that 16 and pregnant TV show. It was supposed to be a warning. Like, do not be 16 and pregnant. And it ended up just making people want to be on the freaking TV show.
That is insane. People are that stupid.
Yeah.
Oh,
stupid.
we're going to make it work.
We're gonna do
and the stupid parents, they always enable. And the grandparents are like, it takes a village. Well, I'll raise your kid. Because you're a kid.
It takes a village. Fuck.
It also sucks because then you're like with the person you're with in high school for like ever. Like you have to be in contact with them.
Alf, you're up to 10 people watching now.
Oh, that's it. I'm done. Goal reached.
What have you done?
And
goal reached.
10 people, man.
That was the goal.
It's so rare
in the chat too.
Like the idea of a high school romance. I think it's a high school sweetheart. I think it's mostly just the novelty of being in love for the first time. And people think, oh, this is pure. This is like the truth is Romeo and Juliet. If there was ever a sequel to that, it would be them breaking up and like ghosting each other.
The new ending, the new yeah.
Oh,
It's not a
great.
reboot. It's a continuation.
Sequel, yeah.
They just never killed themselves.
But it's harsh. That's why people say die young, because like don't stick around long enough to become like a shell of your former self. I was thinking about what Kurt Cobain would be like today. He'd be, in his 50s, and who knows what he'd be up to. But then again, I think Phil should have been dead in like the 90s a couple times. And
He died twice.
He's doing pretty damn good right now.
Yeah. It could have went other ways too. For Phil, but
Oh no.
it went the way it did.
I had some guy send me an email talking about Pantera, man. They meant so much to me that they helped me out when I was in my darkest places, and man, when I heard about Dimebag, it just crushed me. And the guy was super invested in it all. He's like, I listen to Pantera every day. Still, it's hypnotic.
Hopefully he's not as obsessed as the guy who killed fucking Daryl was.
Well, anyway, I sent him Phil's address and I said you should stop by. You guys really
I can't imagine just some random guy showing on his porch.
Actually, they actually had that. There was a girl that came to their home somehow that she had figured out where he lived.
What?
And yeah, it's a whole story. You should ask him to tell it to you once.
That's great.
And she came in and they sort of realized she was psycho at a certain point, and they were like, "We gotta get her out of here."
That's fucking
When did
nuts.
they realize that she was psycho?
Because you're trying to be polite. There's a certain
She found
social
that
rules.
house.
Yeah, she probably just walked up around the door and was like, "Hi, I'm a fan." And he was like, I guess come in." Like, what do you do? That's such an awkward situation. There was a
Probably
TV
the greatest
show.
day of her life, though.
There was an actress in the 80s. It might have been like 88, 89. She was killed by a fan who just showed up at her door. He knocked.
I know.
Yeah, he was writing her
what you're
letters,
talking
and he
about.
had it set in his head that she's been reading all these letters and knew that he was coming and that they were going to get married and be in love.
Wait, what about Giovanni Versace? What happened to him?
Him too, right?
Yeah.
Did the dude just knock on the door and fuck, when he came to answer it, he shot him? Something like that.
There was a guy, I want to say a black celebrity, and he had some guy that worked for him tried to kill him. Yeah, I think or tried to kill him.
It's almost
There's
like
some-
Selena was like that story, right? That lady.
There's some- Yeah, Selena, that was messed up. There's
The
some
stalker
really
stories are so odd, though, because they like love these people and they meet them and kill them right away.
Yeah,
Like,
it's
it's so
weird,
fucking
right? How
crazy.
crazy is that?
Well, the Christina Grimmie, that was a
Yeah,
recent
I
one.
forgot about that one. Yeah, that was
She's
crazy.
a
too.
YouTube singing sensation.
She was a YouTube like singer that was quite popular.
Yeah, like Christian girl. Then she had a massive following on YouTube, and then she turned it into her career. And
She was a big Legend of Zelda fan.
yeah.
Someone
she
killed her?
Yeah.
Yeah, she was doing like a meet and greet, and some guy just came up and just killed her.
That's fucked.
Yeah, fan. Some
Whoa.
guy was like obsessed with her.
And of course, John Lennon.
You
gotta
watch out for that.
John Lennon taken by a total douche.
At the Dakota.
God, that one hurt.
Yeah, it did.
It's like you couldn't have taken out Yoko too. Finish the job, dude.
Or just take out Yoko. Leave us, John. Take Yoko.
And then the worst story ever is the Phil Hartman.
Yeah,
That
oh
was
my
a
god, I
fucked
remember
up
when I
one.
heard, when that happened, I remember hearing that on the news and being like, wait, what? Like, this
His
doesn't
wife,
make any
this
sense.
super talented comedic actor, SNL, and his wife kills him in the middle of the night and then kills herself.
The kids too, no?
No, I don't think
Really?
they had kids.
I think the two kids also, no?
I don't remember there being kids.
I didn't.
Let me look at
that
it.
one.
Yeah, I don't remember there being kids. I could be
Yeah,
wrong.
Billy's turning into a horror film. I gotta see that
It's more
It trailer.
nature.
I have no idea where that flower went. Where the fuck did that flower
I can't believe Alpha's playing Super Mario Brothers.
go? Super Mario Brothers.
Do 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 do.
Oh, they left the 2 kids, I guess. He had 2
Okay, so
kids.
here's
Oh,
a
yeah.
question.
It's probably worse that they left it.
Yeah.
Has
It doesn't
anything
say.
Has
What?
anything ever leaked from Netflix?
Leaked?
Because as far as I'm concerned, they run a pretty tight ship. I haven't seen any significant leaks about, like upcoming TV shows or
No, yeah, usually
plot
not.
lines.
I usually don't either.
Yeah, they probably have pretty stiff non-disclosure agreements that they hand out to everybody.
You know what it is too. They have a pretty well scheduled info drop. Whenever they have new shows, like they'll drop information on it here and there. I think that kind of deters people from looking for leaks because they're giving you information here and there.
Deter? That's a big word for a Mexican American.
It's the third.
The plane.
Yeah, the plane.
She killed them. The kids were still in the house.
I kind of miss Fantasy Island now. Like they should make a reboot of that shit.
Imagine how fucked up your relationship would have to be when you have millions of dollars, live in a kick-ass place in New York, and you kill your husband and then yourself. What did he say to you? How could you hate someone that much?
She was like a drug addict, a recovering drug addict.
Who are you talking about, Hartman?
Yeah.
Oh, they were divorced, actually.
Yeah, and she was
living together, or?
I don't think so. I think she showed up at his place.
Oh my god.
It was while he was sleeping. They had been fighting for a long time. She was a drug addict, and he kept trying to help her get through it, and she wouldn't get through it.
Imagine that. The mother of your
left
children.
and drove back with a friend?
Yeah, something like that.
This is what I'm reading now.
Your wife. Imagine your wedding day. The person you loved. All the time, all the laughter.
Yeah.
The moment at the hospital, the birth of your children. All the photos, the family functions. Next thing you know, you're staring down the barrel of a gun, and it's that same woman, and she's about to end you, snuff you out.
Yeah, and then she had I think she had a bit of a holdout with the police, where she stayed in the room, but by the time the police went in, she was dead. But she was there, like, crying on the phone. I think she's the one who called the police, even.
Hey, Billy, did you see that shooting in Texas? That black woman who got shot 5 times?
No, I saw some... No, I don't know that one.
Yeah, she yelled out, "I'm pregnant." She was trying to be... She was resisting arrest, and she went for the... She got tased.
Oh, I heard something about it.
Yeah, she reached for the taser and yanked it away from the cop, and then tried to tase the cop, and the cop just wasn't having it. He just pulled out his gun and shot her.
5 times.
So it's like the end of the world, man.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah, it's like, yeah.
Biggest miscarriage of justice, all that shit.
Oh, yeah, and Tariq Nasheed's already coming out saying it was a racist act. He shot her because she was black. It's like, no, it wasn't the whole resisting part and him grabbing her taser. Her grabbing his taser. None of that.
At what point are you allowed to shoot? This is what I want to know.
You know what I love is I was watching
because she got the taser and tased him, and he has no other weapon, so he's just supposed to beat her while he's getting tased.
It's pretty cut and dry. Like if you take that to any judge and say the person was resisting, they were combative, they took my taser from me and tased me. I mean, you're pretty much good to go in terms of shoot. Like that's legally. Like there's no.
I mean, he's got no other choice. He can't even move. Getting tased,
It's like, let's say somebody broke into your house and just punched you in your face. In almost every state, you could just kill that guy. Because he's posing a threat, because he's entered your house. I mean, honestly, the law is almost never blame you for once a guy's inside your place.
Yeah, it's true.
That's why it's so dangerous for these petty thieves. It's like, dude, stand your ground.
And now it's not even worth it to break into someone's house anymore.
Dude, like I watch so much shit about like real crime, and like they're so good at it, bro. Like regular people are stupid. We don't know this shit that they can easily do, like break in a house and how. And it's crazy how knowledgeable these fucking retards are. Like, people slip in, you don't even know they're in your fucking house, and then they're standing above your bed, and you're just like, that's it. There's no way out. It's crazy.
There's a lot of you hear that in a lot of serial killer cases. They just they're like, even if they survived, they're like, yeah, I just opened my eyes while I was sleeping. There was just a guy standing there.
Yeah.
Like, oh,
I saw one recently. This woman got raped because of that, but she went along with it all. And then he said, "We're going into your friend's room now."
Oh, fuck.
And she's like waking up. She woke her friend up and she's like, "Listen, just be calm. This guy is here to rape you. He just raped me."
Just
Crazy. She's, but she convinced him to leave after he was done.
Oh shit.
She was like, "Okay, maybe you should go now for some." I forgot. She gave him a reason. He left, and then like he raped someone else like the next week in the same complex, and then they caught him.
Crazy.
This was in the 70s in Brooklyn somewhere.
Oh shit.
Randomly, it was on some TV shows. It's like so crazy.
That's scary as fuck to think like you go wake up and there's some dude over your bed and shit. Look at that. Yeah. And you're like, what?
Yeah, where was the Son of Sam?
7.
It was in Queens, more or less, but yeah. I was looking at that yesterday. New York's got some big name serial killers.
Summer of Sam, right? That was in 1977.
But I think California probably has more.
Yeah, there's some fucked up dudes in the Midwest too. I mean, Dahmer was out there, and the Green River Killer was up in the Northwest.
Yeah. Washington has a crazy amount, bro. Like, just like I see Spokane everywhere when I hear serial killers.
That's the serial killer place.
You know what's crazy though? It's these prostitutes. They're the ones that.
Yeah, a lot of them get.
I mean, ever since Jack the Ripper, prostitutes are getting destroyed, and it's got to be sexual.
Easy targets.
Yeah, but it's sexual dysfunction though. It's not. It's because the guys, they get wrapped up in the lust and the thrill of something about the sex act.
There's that, and there's the fact that they're like incelish, so they can't grab a girl off the street. So like a hooker comes to your car.
Yeah, they come.
And she's willing to interact with you, like so. It's that's why they're easy targets. Like and like no one cares about them as much.
Yeah, I think it's their.
There's
it's
a lot
combination.
Of things.
Yeah, it's a combination of things that makes them be the most likely target for many different reasons for different.
Well, I think guys have a certain fetish. I mean, these serial killers usually would not swap genders. That's why Richard Ramirez was different, because he just killed everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's usually gender biased.
Yeah, Ted Bundy's killing women.
Yeah,
even racially biased.
Dahmer's killing men.
You don't get a lot of people who are killing white people, just like rape a black girl in there and kill her too. Like it's usually like,
dude, no white guys are raping black girls. I think the FBI had a study, and I think it was 0. In a country of 300 million people, not one white guy's raped a black girl.
There was a guy, some serial killer. I remember he had like 4 white rapes under his belt already, and then like some black girl got raped. And they didn't tie it to him right away, and then found out later it was him, like too. So, because they just like no, they usually stick. If the pattern's going, it usually stays at least.
Well, it reminds me of the case in Italy. Remember this girl from Seattle was out in Italy, and she had a roommate, and her roommate ended up dead, and they blamed it on this white girl and her Italian boyfriend, and they're like, this girl was raped and.
Like Amanda something?
And dead. Right. Amanda. They called her like the. Yeah, it was crazy, and the press and the media all wanted to see this American girl go down. This 20-year-old American girl.
Oh, she almost didn't make it out of Italy.
I know. She was in jail for years over there.
She barely.
Meanwhile, they found the DNA of some black dude who was like a known criminal around the way, and like he had slipped in and raped this chick and killed her.
What was the evidence against the girl?
Nothing. She was the roommate.
There was some DNA. Crazy. She had no motive. This is totally out of character.
Yeah, completely.
Overpowered the dude and his girl somehow? Or was it like...
No, she had a boyfriend. They think it was... They were saying that her and her new boyfriend, all they're doing is like hang out, sucking face all day, in love with each other, for some reason decided to stab to death her English roommate. It was like, what? Like, does not pass the sniff test. That's some Jussie Smollett shit.
Oh, man. I don't know why I love serial killer cases, like just regular random murder. They're not interesting enough to talk about for some reason. Like, because it's just so, like, you know, to be able to do that over and over, it's fucking nuts. Like, you know, without.
Well, I think the fascination is not just the technical aspect or the gore aspect, but the fact that there's a thought process behind it. There's got to be some sick motivation, which, if we know that some humans are capable of this, you know, a large number, really, when you look at it all together, not by percentage, but we know this is a repeating pattern, and so we start thinking, am I capable of this? Like, how do we see the signs? Is there reversing this? Is there fixing these people, or are there just monsters out there? And there are, and that's the scary thing. Like, you could try to protect your children from it and say, okay, you know, life is fine, everything's going to be okay, but at some point you have to tell them, look, there's some absolute psychotic sociopaths out there. You got to watch out.
Yeah, and people are crazy. They'll take a kid, like, in broad daylight and some fucking...
What? I've seen those CC footage videos where they just walk into a supermarket and just grab a kid by the hand and walk out. And it's like, what? Like, how did nobody spot this? Like, that's crazy.
It's fucking nuts. People are nuts.
Then I understood why every time I went shopping with my mom, I couldn't walk more than 3 feet away from the fucking side. Like, get over here.
Well, I think it reminds me of Daenerys, because when you take away everything from someone, there's a mentality they enter, which is, I have nothing to lose. And when you're in that zone, you're just desperate and you just don't give a fuck. And you're angry, and you want to be noticed, and you want to just vent your rage. The guys that you don't have to worry about are guys that have shit to lose. You know.
Well, it's weird with serial killers because, like, they might not necessarily even be in that position or even think like that, you know? Some of them have, like, you know, gone through so much shit in their life that it made them that way, but some of them are just fucking...
Well, you remember the BK killer?
BTK?
Yeah,
BTK. Right,
Bind, torture, kill. He's an idiot, bro. He's the biggest idiot.
But... why? How'd you go to him?
Because he got himself caught because, like, he was, like, getting away with all this shit and he would write the cops. And eventually they caught him because of that. Like,
well, I think...
massive ego.
His daughter gave him up.
Really?
Yeah, his daughter went in the basement and found, like, IDs and shit like that and stuff that have, you know, that had to do with the murdered people. As she went to the police and told them, like, I think my dad was the BTK killer, so then they started watching him.
I think that he would pick up prostitutes and using the same car, and the people started to ID the car.
He had a bunch of stuff they were looking at him for. Yeah, they were already
and the cops they interviewed him like 10 years before they actually ended up catching him.
Yeah, he got interviewed for it.
The scary thing about him though is he had a family and he seemed like just a regular Joe citizen.
He worked at the church.
Right, like he had a job. He was just like Ned Flanders.
That was another way they started looking at him, was because of the logins on the computer at the church.
Really?
Yeah, had to do with like how the letters were written or something like that, or how it was emailed to them on the
he got GPS fucked.
And they took that hard drive and they started finding that he was using it. That was another thing they started linking
so sketchy.
Evidence for him.
How many people did he kill?
Not too.
Decent amount.
Was it like somewhere between 8 and 12, I would say. Exactly where between those then.
How many have you killed, Alf?
10 it says here, not for Alf. For
yeah.
How many are you willing to admit to?
What's his face is a funny one, I think. You said Green River Killer, right?
Yeah, he was like 70.
He was like, I think like he was in his head, like he wasn't this evil person, but then he'd just do this shit. He was fucking
Hold on.
weird.
You know what's weird? I just realized BTK Killer, I think he looks a lot like the Green River Killer.
Yeah.
I think they both had dirty mustaches. Hold on, let me see this.
They have mustaches. I don't think they look that much alike, but they They do have mustaches.
Hold on, I'll find you. I'm telling you, this is the same dude.
Ridgway, right?
What if I just
like a Better Call Saul? Odenkirk.
Dude, they're the same dude.
The same dude. Oh, now he looks more like him.
Yeah, maybe.
Oh my god.
Now he has like glasses and he's balding. Yeah, he looks more like him there.
Hold on, I'm about to put us side by side and you're gonna be blown away.
Where am I
going? Like a raider, what's his face? BTK. He seemed like he was known to be like angry with his family. I'm pretty sure. Like he wasn't like the nicest person.
Yeah, he was divorced.
But like Green River Killer was like a very nice person and like didn't like wasn't aggro with people and shit. A very timid type of person.
It's a shame because he blew a sponsorship deal with Burger King. I think if he had only played his cards right.
The BTK burger.
Yeah, could have been like a Happy Meal type situation. That's a real shame.
Comes with handcuffs.
Dennis Rader.
Dennis Rader, that's it.
What a name. It's a great killer name, huh?
With Joel Rifkin.
Joel Rifkin, that episode of Seinfeld where she's dating Joel Rifkin. You ever think about changing your name? He's like, what? Why? Oh, because of the serial killer?
That was a good one.
Do you think serial killers just fuck people like that? Or they come up with it and you're like, oh god, I have the same name as a serial killer.
Yeah, it's gotta suck.
That's gotta suck.
Imagine your name being John Wayne Gacy. Like, exactly.
Yeah.
Like, fuck.
There's gotta be a Henry Lucas out there. Come on.
Yeah, there's more common names that you're like, alright, one of these more common names. There's gotta be a few.
Ted Bundy, I don't know though.
Ted Bundy. I'm sure if they do have the same name, they don't go by Ted. They'll go by Teddy Bundy or Theodore Bundy. Right?
If you're named Bundy and you name your kid Ted, you're just a fucking scumbag, bro. Like, oh my god.
Hey, check the chat. Look, I made. Side by side. Look at that.
Yeah, they do kind of look familiar with the glasses. Yeah, I can see that.
Dude.
Just one's balder than the other. One has more mustache than the other.
These guys are the best buds. Go on little killing rampages together.
the Rod Serling, just throw him in. throw him into every bizarre meme now.
That's so good. Yeah.
She's like, wait, something's weird here. Throw in Serling.
Let me send this to Phil, see what he thinks. Just no explanation.
There's a picture where he's more bald, the Ridgway, where he has less hair, so it looks even more like him. Is it this one? Oh my god, he looks so
Well, I'd be curious. I'd be curious to know if Phil is even aware of those guys, because, you know, you guys are horror fans. And
I think he would be.
You guys know your way around real life horror. And I'm not sure everyone is like that.
I think Phil is.
Yeah, but I mean, true crime fans are not necessarily horror fans.
Yeah,
I think there's like an overlap, but it's a concentric circles type thing. Because it's a totally different genre. Like the fact that these guys are really did fucked up shit. It's like that's a world apart from fictional. Sort of.
Do you know about Albert Fish?
That guy was gross.
He's terrible. He was like a pedophile, child murderer.
Well, it depends on the kid.
There's a crazy story about him. He took this girl upstate. They got off the bus, and he was like, she's like, oh, you left your box, and like the box was his fucking killing tools, and he went back on and got it. So like, he wouldn't have been able to fucking murder her there because in the middle of nowhere he could have done other things, I guess, but maybe should have had more of a chance if he didn't have the weapons. Who knows? It's just a fucked up story.
He used to stick pins in his penis.
Yeah, he was a what's it called, masochist also.
Yeah, I used to stick pins all over his body. And then they have like an X-ray of him, and you see like tons of pins inside his body.
Yeah, he's a fucking psycho.
That he had lost within his body, like he pushed it in too far and he couldn't get it back out. They just stayed in it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
He had them everywhere.
I'm always fascinated by finding a normal person who puts himself in a really weird situation where they have to get rid of a body. Because the cops know that most people don't know how to get rid of a body.
Oh yeah.
So, and they know like where you're, what you think to do. Like in New York. Oh God.
The Gowanus.
Of course, I'm joking. Of course, that's the irony. It's just, there's no way you can hide stuff like that, especially 100 people.
Yeah. Well, in New York, I'm sure there's like a short list of like the top 10 places that they.
Yeah, that's not a big list, I don't think. Or the city, at least, not the state.
Well, at least on Sopranos, there was like 3 spots they go to.
Throw them in the Hudson.
It's probably not a good idea to bury people near each other.
Yeah, that's true. Where'd they go in The Departed? They had to go into the swamp or the marshlands. What was it? Oh yeah, that was what like gave away that somebody was like reporting to the feds. Do you guys remember that The Departed? He goes,
I haven't seen that.
He's like, you walked a mile into the swamps to dump a body, and they found it. He's like, who the fuck found it? Some guy walking his dog out there. I was like, what?
That's why they had to dig up bodies in the Goodfellas.
Oh, because they were worried about.
Because they were going to build there. They were going to build.
Oh shit!
They found out they had just bought the property or whatever, and that's why they went back up and dug up the guy.
Dude.
That whole scene like, starts barfing.
There was
the old wing.
There was a famous podcast that just came out, Up and Vanished. This guy, this upstart nobody guy, college student basically from Atlanta, started up his own podcast, and it was a true crime thing about a 10-year-old case of a girl from a small town in Georgia. She was a school teacher, 32 years old, former beauty queen. She was missing. Nobody knew what happened to her. And so he went around and interviewed everybody, and then during the run of the podcast, they found the guy. There was 2 guys.
Because of him, or just because?
Yeah, because he had to like bring this up and like asking people and putting out rewards and all this. And so eventually, a girlfriend. It was the girlfriend of the guy who helped get rid of the body. She wanted the reward money, and she was white trash, and it worked. And so these 2 guys, one guy killed her. Yeah, one guy kills her, and then he's like, goes to his buddy, like, help me get rid of this body. And so they took it to a cherry orchard. This guy's family owned a bunch of land, and they burned the body. It took a couple of days to burn it, and then they buried it in some orchard.
Yeah, there's a lot of cases where they just like find out years and years later, just out of nowhere. Like people they kill someone, like their wife or something, they bury them under their garden or some shit in their backyard. They find out 20 years later, bro.
Well, the thing is, we don't even know how many murder cases there are, because we just have missing persons. But how many missing person open cases are there right now? Just thousands. And there's an estimated guess as to what percentage of those are just, oh no, that's a dead person.
A lot of them, I think, are, because, like, even if you hate your family and you run away, there's some context somewhere. Like, you don't just drop off the face of the earth, you know?
Well, and also, you can't get a new ID. It's not like in the movies. You need a credit card, you need a bank, you need a job, you need health care. Like, you can't just disappear.
Yeah. Something. Even if you change your name, fake it, your ID is out there somewhere, even if it's not your name.
Especially now. Like, back in the day, you could probably get off the grid more. Now, the grid is a different grid. Grid went digital.
Digital grid.
Yeah. I mean, back in the day, like, if you were a Nazi war criminal, you just fly over to Argentina and be like, oh yeah, here's my new name. And people are like, okay, cool, welcome to Buenos Aires. It's like, that's it. Good to go.
crazy though. I don't know.
Well, did you guys see the story of
Of
Adolf? No, what was his name? Hess. It was one of the high council guys for Hitler. It was the story. They recently did a movie with Ben Kingsley. The Mossad went to Argentina to capture this Nazi when he was an old man, and they found him. The reason they found him was because his son. He had a fake name. He went to Argentina, had a fake identity, but his son used his old name for some reason, and his son started dating a Jewish girl, and he met the Jewish girl's family, and the father of the Jewish girl recognized this guy's name.
Oh shit!
And was like, is this guy the son of Hitler's fucking high council member? Yeah, and he called Mossad, and then Mossad came out and picked him up, took him back to Israel for trial, and hung him.
Wow.
Yeah, it's hardcore. Isn't it weird though how people go down? You go down, in this weird way, tangential. You really gotta cover all your bases.
Yeah.
the Golden State Killer, the guy they just recently caught.
Yeah, how'd he do?
That's through like DNA from a website. Someone related to him, like, got one of those DNA tests.
What?
Yeah, bro.
What?
It wasn't even
I
him.
did a video about that.
Just somebody related to him got a DNA test, and it caught him.
Yep.
Oh, shit. That's
crazy. So now, like, they're talking about it. It's been a talk for like the last year about like, oh, like this is helping them a lot, but then now they're talking about privacy issues and all that type of shit.
That's interesting.
But these people, like, it was sort of similar to what you were saying before about the guy who made the podcast.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
What's his face's wife, Patton Oswalt, was actually involved. Like, she got really into this case, like that kid did, and started doing things, and like somehow she helped spread the word of the case, even though it's been around for 30, 40 years. This case, because it's just been unresolved forever. Like, and it's a very high-profile one, like a well-known serial killer. So through her, they sort of figured, like, she would look on websites and stuff like this, so they decided to check out, see if we could match this one piece of DNA we have to fucking these sites, and somehow they got a match eventually through one of them. It wasn't even like a 23andMe or Ancestry.com, it was like a lesser one even.
Okay, so imagine that this serial killer's son or grandson or cousin goes on one of these DNA sites, and they run it through, the feds for some reason, and it pings on like 30 open murder cases, and they're like, did a fucking serial killer just send us a DNA swab? And then they must have busted into that guy's door, and they realized, wait, this guy's 25. How could he have been these chicks in the 1970s?
Well, no, they could check that there, so they didn't have to. I don't think they busted in anyone's house that didn't deserve it. But they do that. It happens anywhere in like real life. Like this guy in Long Island, who is a killer. I don't know. People think he could be like the Gilgo Beach killer. This guy who, like, they found all these bodies on the fucking beach in Long Island, like but he's not connected to him at the time, right now, but they think it's possible. But anyway, point is, he was connected to other murders, and he got caught for it. But the way he got caught was his brother or his cousin got arrested for something, and his DNA went in the system, and it was a partial match. So
that's fucked up.
It's like very similar, but it's just in the real world, like, it's fucking
Are you sure that Long Island killer wasn't Amy Fisher?
No, it wasn't. I dated a girl who fucking... What was it? Her cousin was dating her.
Whoa.
Like, after the murders, and after the murder, not murder, the shot, whatever.
Right.
Yeah, she didn't murder her.
This guy, like, whoever, like, my girlfriend's cousin was dating her. So fucking random. And, like, he knew her, he knew about it and everything, and he was like, yeah, I'm dating her. So bizarre.
Bind, torture.
Like, would you date Amy Fisher? Forget about hotness and all that or anything. Just knowing what you know, that she shot someone in the face.
Yeah, it's probably a red flag. I think she actually got her life turned around.
Well, that's the thing. Like, yeah, it seems like she has, but that's just.
Actually, didn't she start a porn company or something? And she stars.
You know what she
wasn't that him?
No, I think she's a family. She's like a got married to some guy.
What? Who's the one am I thinking?
She reminds me of Winona Ryder. No, sorry, Marissa Tomei from My Cousin Vinny. Did she not play her in a movie?
From the Long Island Lolita. Alyssa Milano played her.
Oh.
And someone else did too, but I can't remember.
Yeah, I could see her.
Drew Barrymore?
Yeah, maybe it was Drew Barrymore. It might have been.
It's a good role.
It's a good role. The Long Island Lolita.
Well, it's fucked up, but I mean, usually you'd think if you have a wife and a mistress, you think the wife would catch wind of the mistress and go and kill her. But no, it's the other way around. She was. I guess it goes both ways. Like if you're the mistress, but you want to be number one, and I just gotta get rid of this wife.
They have a lot of shows about that shit. Like a lot of like
movies,
regular, like not forensic files but shit like that. But it's just women killers or like
Snapped.
Love triangle shit and Snapped, exactly, Snapped.
What was that show on Fox where they confront cheaters?
Cheaters. Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy.
Oh, that is so
crazy.
tacky.
I used to be like, how did these guys not get shot or killed? What's going on here?
See, but like shit like that in The Bachelor, right? Like, okay, The Bachelor is supposed to be reality TV, but it's scripted and fucking, it's. I know someone I know fucking films that shit. It's just very guided.
Well, no, but the thing about the guiding of it, it's not scripted. It's formulaic. So there's certain things that you're expected to say, and there's patterns that form. But really, the part that's most disingenuous is the editing. I mean, the fact that it's edited means that the editors can just do whatever they want with it. They can tell whatever story they want.
But he's told me that they say, oh, say this, and don't say it like that. Say this instead. Like shit.
Well. I mean,
it's pretty crazy.
Put it this way: if I followed you guys around for a week and just filmed your life, and then edited that down to a half-hour show, it wouldn't be scripted per se, but it would come across as completely false because it would be whatever I wanted it to be. Hey.
But that other one seems like real reality TV. It's just like
oh yeah, well
like
the host got didn't he get stabbed at one point? Like I remember the host was bleeding. He would wear that leather jacket.
He wore a bulletproof vest.
Yeah, it was so tacky. But there was something really, I don't know, very addictive about that whole Jerry Springer. It was just like, this is the worst human scum, and they live with you. These people vote. These are your neighbors.
Well, you can't believe that they're actually doing it and shit like.
And it's like, it's so embarrassing. Have you ever seen the equivalent of Jerry Springer English TV? It's called, God.
Oh, wait, isn't his name Kyle something?
Kyle.
Yeah, I forgot what his name was.
Oh, God. Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
It is so bad. I mean, it makes Jerry Springer shit look like Oprah.
We brought him here to the U.S. for a while. It was on Morning
They bring out these fucking snaggle-toothed, fucking rail-thin, meth head, just uneducated gutter trash. And it's mesmerizing to look at it, but wow. It's like, fuck. England's got some old school trash. You know what I'm saying? They really do. Does Canada have that? Marina, does Canada have, like, embarrassing pockets?
I don't know. I don't watch TV.
But Canada seems like, even the worst, like Josh Banko, like Edmonton or Winnipeg. Like, they're just more
Welders of Edmonton is a great reality show. Incompetent Welders of Edmonton.
You wouldn't last a day on the patch.
Day on the patch. Oh
I think there was a Housewives of Toronto, I think, but I don't think it ever aired. It was filmed, but it never aired.
Do you know that Banko said that he got his arm tattooed with a bunch of flowers because he wanted to impress the dudes at work.
What?
Yeah, he had to show. He had to have ink because the guys at the patch had ink.
Wow. Oh my god.
Incompetent welder, failed model, failed actor.
The actor is great.
Well, the problem is he would have been a good actor if there was just more Polish roles.
Yeah, if there was more Polish roles. I'm Polish. I'm not.
I'm probably not good for this role as a Nazi because I'm Polish of descent.
Yeah. You could have gotten a job acting as a welder.
Yeah, I'm not. So this role, the Nazi, takes place in Berlin, and I'm from Edmonton, so I'm not sure if this is going to work. But I guess I'll read the audition anyway.
I don't know how this is going to work. I'm in Canada, but
But I'm on my lunch break. I'm in like the stationery closet. Here we go.
He really didn't understand the basic concept of acting. Like, it was
that was the most. Oh, that sentence was great.
And I love the fact that he didn't want to come across like he was schizophrenic and read both parts of the scene because he
turned his face.
Right, so he cuts it. So it's like cut. Like, oh.
Oh, there were cuts. I wish he had just turned his head and started.
No, it was great because he turned his head, but he like turned and looked up, like as if he was talking to some guy in a bunk bed.
He was thinking. He made it a shot.
Yeah, he was freestyling. He was just improvising. He's like, my character, I'm assuming, is 6'5", and this guy's 5 foot. It's incredible. The day I found that was one of the. I mean,
it's so great.
It wasn't even on YouTube. It was on like Vimeo or something. It was.
You looking on Vimeo for him?
Somebody sent to me and was like, dude, you're never going to believe what I found. What's the plan?
Famous line.
Some rapper, some black rapper did a impromptu freestyle about me a couple months back, and in his rap he talked about Banco's big nose.
Yes, I heard that.
That was amazing.
Part of the lore, bro.
Yeah. When he started misspelling shit though in his tweets, because we'd have like Twitter wars, and he would just hit me with like severe grammatical errors. I mean, to the point where it was just like, dude, is this Poe's law? Like, are you trolling me? But it wasn't.
Like, you can't seriously be this bad at spelling. Or...
Well, he kept saying, defend your clam.
Defend your clam.
And I was like... At first I was like, okay, he just forgot the... Let's see,
clam... you already missed it or something.
Let's see, it's not... Yeah, missing it is one thing. But usually a typo is like, there's a key right next to the key.
Yeah.
So that's like a technical, like, physical error. But to avoid the I of claim... And then you do a search on his Twitter, and it pops up like 30 times he said defend your clam. And I was like...
Clam.
It's a t-shirt.
And then it culminated, and really the death of him and his presence on the internet ended when he said mem.
Mem. That was amazing.
When he said mem...
That was it.
That was... Yeah. He really
so
never...
TJ, right?
There's not much after that.
I don't think he made a video after that. Yeah, he said it's TJ. And he was trying to talk shit about me, and they were giving him a little shit for, you know, some of his things, and they weren't really sure what to make of him, and then he was just like, mem.
That's right. TJ was like, mem? What is a mem?
We knew exactly what it was. Because we already had the experience of clam and all that shit.
But is that...
And you're in the pan flutes.
What was the pan?
Pamphlet.
He spelled pamphlet. I feel like he hyphenated it, or I think he hyphenated it.
I got something.
Pamphlet.
I think I got shit here.
F-L-I-T.
Oh no.
Was it even an N? Was it Pam? Pamphlet?
Pamphlet.
It might have been Pam.
Yeah, it was an N. P-A-N.
Pamphlet.
F-L-I-T. Yeah.
Yeah, it was PAN.
And like the amount of work he expected that dash to do for him was pamphlet. Banco, where is he today?
I had a recent picture of him. Where is it?
You know he's a shooter. You know he's like gone religious or something.
I got something somewhere. I'm gonna find it.
I can't wait for him. I want him to draw me a circle of TJ's sub count and then my sub count and show me like side by side what they are. So I can know how wrong I am. TJ. Yeah, I gotta know how wrong I am based on sub count.
Where the hell is this picture? I know I got it. It's a recent picture of Banco.
Oh.
Within like the last few months.
You have a folder somewhere on your computer called Josh Banco.
No, this is on my phone. I got boom. This was recent.
But how funny is it if you actually go back to the original conversation I had with them? I'm like, some rando online calls me a neo-Nazi. Now that's back when I was like, what? Like, what are you talking about? I'm a college-educated Eagle Scout. Fuck you. And he's like, no, you're a neo-Nazi. I'm like, why? And he goes,
no, you're a neo.
Yeah, he goes, because you think black people commit a bunch of crime. I'm like, they do. And that was just stark. Like, people weren't used to hearing that shit. They're like, wait, what? This guy's saying they do commit a bunch of crime? And I'm like, yeah. He goes, wait, are you saying they all do? I'm like, no, I'm not saying they all do. I'm saying the ones that do. Fuck. Are you saying that they inherently commit the crime genetically?
It's inherent. That's my favorite.
Yeah. Are you saying you're better than them? I'm like, buddy, all the gotcha questions come out.
Yeah.
That was hysterical.
That is pretty funny.
Oh my god.
Pan flute.
Pan flute.
Pan flute.
I mean, he must have known. When he was even contemplating saying the word pamphlet, he knew he had no clue how to spell that.
Could have Googled it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the other thing. Like, spell check was around on Twitter back then. Like, it wasn't... No, but the clam, that's why the clam got through.
Yeah.
The clam, god damn it, the clam could not be caught by any... Isn't there an app for that? Grammarly? Grammarly would have caught it.
There's the recent Banco pic. He looks like a retard.
Oh my god.
Like a fucking dark orange beard or something.
Yeah, he's all eager.
Like a maroon beard.
He looks like he's at some seminar at a hotel lobby, like teaching you how to, flip houses or something. He's getting involved in some pyramid scheme.
Or Richard Spencer get together.
And wasn't he into metal? He was into like screamo.
He was into metal.
What was his band?
He had a band.
I remember. It had a name.
He had a band.
Yeah, he was in some band.
That's pretty funny.
Do you remember how he would open his mouth and he had this like very gummy, kind of horse-like
yes.
mouth?
Yes.
And he would open his the upper part of his mouth. His lip would go up, like a horse about to like bite a carrot. It's very strange.
It is. Oh my god. Look at this.
I don't know who's this one. I don't know who did this. I don't remember.
Generation Pussy, that's right.
Original.
Gen P.
Before regressives. Gen P.
Gen P.
Like, he had a fashy haircut. Who knows who he's supporting now? You think he went Trump?
Possibly. I could see it, him and Uzuli.
Yeah. He's got to jump off the Yang Gang.
Safe here.
He might.
I'm gonna end this stream.
We're streaming?
Yeah. Yeah. This whole time I was playing video games and streaming.
Why you gotta be like that, huh?
Where are all my Banco memes anyway? Fuck.